Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Lexis. I'm here today because of my daughter, Ava. My daughter suffered a skull fracture in a C-section delivery, the negligence of hospitals. As a result, Ava has triplegia cerebral palsy. At the time, as a mother of a child with cerebral palsy, I was shocked at how unprepared I was. I tried to familiarize myself with the many forms of care, equipment, and therapy, but I realized quickly how broken the system was, something that I admit I was oblivious to before. I became obsessed with trying to find a solution. So I decided to start a company, and I decided to try to change it. What you just saw in that intro video is a snippet compilation of moments over the last 3 years on the 4 major components of my life: my kids, disability awareness, inclusion, and innovation. They're my driving forces. I'm not here to speak on behalf of people with disabilities. I'm here to tell you primarily what I've learned as a mom, and now founder of a company whose mission is to equip people with the necessary tools they need to live their daily lives. We're talking about getting out of bed, going to the bathroom, moving from one floor to another. But the goal of LittleWins was not only to help provide access to these imperative supplies, but also to create a community where individuals, families, and caregivers could come together, share experiences, and help each other. I interviewed over 175 families and caregivers to see what the common denominators were in their journey to acquiring care, equipment, and therapy. What I found was, regardless of symptoms, diagnosis, or even socioeconomic status, it didn't matter. Of those 175 people, they had 3 things in common. 1, they had medical equipment or supplies they no longer needed but didn't know what to do with. 2, they needed something but they couldn't get it. What hit me the hardest, though, was number 3. They all felt alone. What needs to be heard is that over 1 billion people, about 15% of the global population, currently experience disability. The most everyone will experience disability at one point within their lifetime. In the US, 40% of the population over the age of 65 do not have the necessary tools to live their daily lives on a basic level. And we're not talking about going on vacations. We're talking about going to the bathroom. It could be any one of us at any moment. The occurrence of depression within this group is about 200% the national average in the US alone. I don't know if you plan to grow older, but I think the alternative sounds like a lot less fun. There's an adage I heard, and bear with me. I promise there's a point. This adage I heard when I was a kid, and it only started to make sense to me in recent years. It goes a little something like this. A mom and a daughter are baking a ham, and the daughter says, "Why do we cut the ends off of the ham?" The mom says, "Well, that's because what my mom did, and it's the recipe." So they call grandma, and she said, "Well, that's what my mother did." Well, ultimately, they have to call great-grandma and ask her the same question. She said, "Because we didn't have pans large enough." I can't help but feel we've been moving forward with this same mentality within the medical field, specifically for individuals with disabilities. But if we start from the bottom and we move to the top, let's be honest, there's a whole lot that needs attention here. I've met pediatric surgeons who are literal angels on earth, who became doctors for all the right reasons. They're imperative people. Heaven forbid, in a situation where you need a pediatric surgeon for your child, you would want one of the ones that I've met. The problem is, with all the schooling, they're swimming in debt. That'll be a deterrent for future grades if I had to guess. Some of the best doctors I've met don't have time in their schedule, the one that they have to keep, in order to provide individualized care. I believe they hoped that they would be able to. When was the last time you went an entire day without seeing a building or a venue that did not meet ADA standards? I don't know if you've been on crutches or something alike, but I have. You get to see very quickly how we seem to have left some important things out. My company, LittleWins, has been called revolutionary, game-changing, and even world-changing. But the truth is, I built a platform based on the simple concept of sharing, the fundamentals of a village mentality, one that has kept us as humans alive for centuries. Sharing is one of the first things we learn as children. So maybe it's not that it's revolutionary. Maybe it's that solutions are so simple sometimes that we overlook them. Like patterned compression socks, so that my daughter feels included in the fun socks trend making waves in her first grade classroom. Or bath products made from real ingredients that have been used for hundreds of years to ease pain, inflammation, and discomfort. Like Braille labels. So then maybe you can see which one is which if it turns out your body is aging and your eyesight is too. It seems to me that in a lot of cases, disability is compartmentalized into a mental bucket of it's not me, until it is. It doesn't have to be this way. A great doctor, maybe you've heard of him, Dr. Seuss once said, "You have brains in your head, feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose." So if you all look to your left right now, and then you look to your right, you're some of the biggest brains we have. I bet you if we put all our heads together, we could kick out some solutions for the things we know ail this system now that we have larger pans. With the vigor that only awareness, inclusion, and innovation can drive. Innovation without primarily seeking a strong market to make a return. If each one of us made one teeny tiny simple change to the way we go about our roles within this industry, a quarter turn back towards the village mentality that's kept us alive for centuries, with a stronger foundation, oh, the places we could go. Socrates said, "The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new." I'd venture to say, we are the ones who can bring about the change that's needed here. What if some of the biggest solutions are so simple that they're simply being overlooked? But it's imperative that we work together. Someone asked me in an interview last year why I started LittleWins. I said, because I recognized that life was giving me an at-bat to create a better world for my daughter, for all of my kids, for the ones who came before us, and all who will come after us. Because if it's one of us, let's face it, it's all of us. So I said, I'm gonna take that at-bat, and I'm gonna swing like hell. And I hope that you do too. Thank you for your time. Do they have any questions? Do y'all have any questions? Okay. No questions? Should we just sing a song? Just kidding, I don't sing.
Let's do a duet. A question.
Yeah.
In how many countries are you operational already?
In how many countries am I currently serving?
Yeah.
Okay. You're right, it is hard to hear the questions up here, just for the record, people.
In how many countries are you operational already?
Ooh, I like that. So currently only in the US and Canada. And the reason for that is because, well, and gosh, I want to be everywhere. I've done all the research. I have all this survey data. I know what they need and where they need it. I personally fund this venture, and I don't know if you know about this, but privacy policies, terms and conditions for each country, it's like a little bit pricey. So I'm working on it.
Let's talk after at coffee.
What was it?
Let's talk at coffee afterwards.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. And if anyone else has any questions, I'll be here all day. Thank you guys so much for listening.